ninth installment of the Final Fantasy series. How perfect can a game get? Perfect graphics, captivating characters, great battle system, coupled with an amazing story. No, not really, this game fucking sucks! Destroyed by a game he used to love. A drunk. Driven to insanity. But how did we get here? Well, let's start from the beginning. Now let me take you back to a simpler time. Back to my childhood. I was 13 when I first discovered Final Fantasy VII. This game was fucking mind-blowing. I'd never played an RPG before, let alone one this good, and I was instantly emotionally invested in the Final Fantasy series, along with financially invested. So a couple of years go by, we played Final Fantasy VII probably a million times, and then we get the news, and we see the trailer for Final Fantasy VIII, and oh my shit was this fucking awesome. Anyone who saw that trailer was gonna get that game by any means necessary. Including going to a friend's house where cooking is sitting for all, just like Final Fantasy VIII, no go back and listen to this. Holy shit was this game awesome. It built on everything Final Fantasy VII had, and made it better! From Squall to Cypher, every character in this game is engaging, give us a reason to care about them. Except these three. Fuck these three. So after the leap from Final Fantasy VII to 8, you obviously got to expect that 8 to 9 would be a massive jump given the PlayStation's capabilities. But what we got was this! My biggest beef as a kid comes from the fact that Final Fantasy VIII had done away with the almost cartoony look of Final Fantasy VII and looked amazing for the time with its realistic design. You also have to look back at when Final Fantasy VII was released and think that perhaps the designers used a more colourful design because it was too hard to get detail in to be more realistic at the time. So I believe Final Fantasy VII gets a pass. Final Fantasy IX, however, has no excuse. So okay, now I'm done explaining how I felt as a kid towards these games, let's dive headfirst into Final Fantasy IX. Firstly, I'd like to give this game props for all the things it did right. The music is outright amazing and gives an old school feel to the game. Also, the battle system is simple and gives you the option of having 4 people in your party, which hasn't been done to this day. Also, the Chocobo minigame is one of the best minigames in gaming history, and I found myself playing through this game just to play it. Hey, I just got back from a psychiatrist and she says that if I try to make it so it never existed in my mind, it might help things. So, here's all the games that have ever been released. 7, 8, 10. Something seems wrong. It still exists. It still exists! So why do I hate this game with a fiery passion? I hear you scream at me with foam coming out of your mouth. Well, let's start with the biggest flaw of the fucking game. The characters. Yes, the motherfucking characters. I'm not going to be talking about the first few hours of the game. So we're not going to be talking about Freya, or Quina, or Aiko, or any of the rest of them. No, I'm going to be talking about the main 4. Vivi, Steiner, Garnet, and Zidane. And the reason for this is that we're stuck with these 4 characters for at least the first 3 hours of this game. You get to know these guys quite well. And for anyone who's coming into this game for the first time, these 4 characters decide on whether or not we invest our time and effort into this game. So let's get started. Number 1, Zidane. This motherfucker is our protagonist, and as such, should be our most relatable character, and the most likeable. But unfortunately, due to the rights of this game obviously being on crack for the most part, Zidane comes off as a 13-year-old monkey-looking motherfucking womanizing thief who couldn't get a date with his sleazy one-liners if he came across a hooker in a bar, and he paid her. I mean, fuck, it's not hard to make a thief charming. I mean, look at Disney's Aladdin. You have a thief who steals so he can eat. He comes off as charming, and we don't bat an eyelid when he tries to get into Jasmine's pants. Final Fantasy IX can suck my giblets, and Zidane comes off as a complete and total creep. It stops being charming when you're part of a band of thieves and you can feed yourself. Number 2, Princess Garnet. This little ungrateful bitch is, of course, the love interest of Zidane, who grew up inside of Alexandria Castle with everything handed to her on a silver platter, and even has the Knights of Pluto who will do anything to protect her. Garnet decides to take it upon herself to throw all of those things she was given as a child back in her mother's face and asks to be kidnapped by Zidane and the rest of his gang. So if you look, so far we have no relatable characters. We have a princess who gets what she wants, and a thief who just steals because he can. It's hard for us to even connect in the slightest with these two. And unfortunately, it gets worse. Much, much worse. Number 3, Steiner. Oh my good god, is this guy annoying. Even people who like this game, I'm very sure, hate this guy. Steiner's sole goal in this game is just to piss you off. He blindly follows orders, is willing to hand Zidane to the Queen to be executed, even though he saved Garnet's life. And even when he gets a direct order from Garnet, he'll just ignore it anyway. Fuck this motherfucker and his armor every time he fucking moves. I'm not even going to harp on Steiner for too long, because I think even the fanboys of this game hate him. So let's move on to the most redeeming character of them all. Number 4, Vivi. Vivi is a sweet young black mage who is wandering the world, not knowing his past, and as the game progresses, becomes entangled in the entire mess of Final Fantasy IX. Vivi is your typical fish out of water character, and if you think about it, should have been the main character. No, really, think about it. He connects with us because we're new to this world, we have no idea what's going on. As Vivi grows through his adventures, we grow with him. In fact, if we took Zidane out of this entire equation and deleted him from the entire game, would it really be that big a deal? Lodged them with my bare hands, and I haven't been able to get their screams out of my head ever since. Oh, Final Fantasy IX? Oh, it's so horrible, I can't... What? We're out of time. Come on, just a little bit longer, Doc. Come on, please. I need this. I need this.